Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be going over Mythic Hero Charm priority for Ravaged realm, which is going to be coming to VN server tomorrow and global server like a week from now basically. Now this is a work in progress. This is just kind of like an expectation of what will be the best charms and which heroes are going to be important to get charms for Ravaged realm based on previous season basically performance of these heroes. And also we do know the boss mechanic for this Ravaged realm. He is the dragon boss. We saw that in a preview. So we know a bit about that. But of course, things are going to change in terms of which heroes are important and also what are their best charms as more testing is done on the VN server. But this is kind of like a preliminary guide. We have the 4 different factions. If you don't know how Ravage Run works, you will be able to attack the Ravage Run boss with a squad. And a squad will be limited only to one faction, for example, Lightbearers. But there will also be some Celestial Hypogean heroes, for example, Harok and Fresto will be usable in the Lightbearer squad. Just basically, but you will not be able to use any of the other 3 main factions into this squad. In the Mauler squad, it will be all Mauler heroes, and the Celestial Hypogean or Dimensionals, which are key, are Athalia and Natsu, as you can see here. So that is basically how this is going to work. You are going to be limited, and that's why building up more heroes, bigger roster is going to be more important. Also, you're going to have 8 total heroes you're going to be using. It's going to be 2 fights. One is going to be with a team of 5. One is going to be with a team of 3, assuming it is the same as previous seasons, and you will be limited only to your specific squad. Okay, with that covered, let's go ahead and get into it. So for the Lightbearer, which is what we're going to talk about right now, they do have a Q charms of Muriel and Cassie, and overall, I've already taken a look at like these charm recommendations, and I can pretty much safely agree with these are probably going to be the optimal charms for these heroes. Now, the only thing I would maybe change, or for example, give my own input, is that I am honestly not completely sure how meta maybe Muriel or Cassidy will be. However, from previous seasons, I can definitely say Merrily most likely is going to be in one of the best teams. She basically always has proven herself, always as a key damage dealer, and overloaded charms have always been good for her. Cassie and Muriel in the previous season were not in the best team. However, definitely there is a different Lightbearer faction talent mechanism this season, and so I could see like normal attackers being better. So definitely Muriel and Cassie, I'm sure they could be in some top team, but I'm not necessarily convinced based on previous seasons if they are actually going to be the #1 priority, for example, to be getting. But for them, acute charms, I agree with that. Now, Zany is going to be an upcoming hero, and Zany, we're really predicting is going to be good for Ravage Run because she has high damage output, which is basically all you need for Ravage Run. And I don't even know, her turrets may not be controllable. They may be able to continuously get off damage, and this boss that we're going to be facing, the dragon boss, has a lot of crowd control, and that is going to like delay your damage of your team. But if, for example, Zany's turrets are unaffected by that, then they're just going to keep getting off consistent damage. So I can definitely see Zany, and Gale Charm's definitely going to be the best for attack and attack speed. Attack speed does boost the damage of her turrets, so that is a really good charm choice. Atalanta, we've seen how good she was for the Crystal Crawler Primal Lord. I could definitely see if you have your Atalanta built, maybe getting her overloaded charms would be a big priority, but you probably already have that if you were min-maxing for the Primal Lord. Now, Sinbad, interestingly, so in Dream Realm up until right now, Sinbad has basically always done sorcery or balance charms as the best ones because Gale can kind of interfere with the damage timing. However, generally, Gale is the best charm set for Sinbad for maximizing his damage. So I could definitely see Gale being the best for him for this Ravage realm. In previous seasons, Gale were the best charms for him. So I would probably, recommend Gale onto Sinbad. Probably, and he will probably definitely be used in one of the top teams. Walker, interesting because of the, the faction talent this season. We've seen Walker and Guild Supremacy boss, Glyph Shape boss demolishing it. So I can definitely see Walker as maybe one of the key damage dealers of the season for Ravage Realm, and Butcher Charms do seem theoretically the best for him. Hugin Blast Charms, Hugin is probably almost definitely going to be used in Ravage Realm. He kind of always is, and Blast Charms are the best for him. Harok Butcher Charms have been the best for him in previous Ravage Realms. Now we don't know, and that's kind of why Harok is really low priority on this list, and I can kind of agree with that because we have such an insanely stacked like Lightbearer faction talent this season and a lot of good damage dealers. It could very well be that you don't even go for a Harok comp. Now the thing is, Forester and Harok are both in the Aurora squad, which is Lightbearer faction. So they have great synergy. Harok can just eat the Forester and his illusion and sort of ramp up, and the rest of your team can be safe. But I don't know if that is going to be in the top team. It always has been historically in the past. But this season, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, Butcher Charms have been the best for Harak and Ravage Rum. Usually a bit better than Balance Charms, so do try to get those. Sonya, Arcane Charms. I think Sonya is really important, but probably everyone already has her charms. Maybe that's why she's kind of lower priority here. But like, she is probably going to be in a top team, definitely. And then Corn. Corn, I think, is going to be one of those heroes which is not going to be very useful in this Ravage Run, because we have a lot of good damage dealers. He doesn't necessarily take huge advantage of the Lightbearer faction tans. So I would probably say Corrin probably is not going to be in a top team. Probably not important to get his his charm set. Okay, moving on to Maulers. Elsa overloaded charms. Elsa has always been a good damage dealer in previous Ravage Runs, and if you have her built, like, you should definitely prioritize her overload charms. Almost definitely, she is going to be in one of the top teams for Ravage Run. She has high damage output. And kind of the same thing with Odie. I'm just skipping a bit, but kind of the same thing with Odie. Odie has always been one of the top damages for Ravage Run, and almost definitely he will be for this season as well. And Gale charms are usually the best for him, so that's what I would also recommend. Now, Citrana and Reese. Citrana in the previous season was not in the top team, but she was in one of the top teams dealing decent damage output, and Butcher Charms were the best for her for that. So I could recommend that. Reese as well, if you have Reese built and you have him Supreme Plus with the skill upgrade, I could definitely see Reese being pretty strong in this Ravage Run, because even in the previous season, he wasn't in the top team, but he was in like kind of one of the budget teams. And now that he's going his Supreme Plus skill upgrade to boost his damage further, I could see him being even better. So Butcher Charms were the best for Reese, and that is what you should prioritize. Seth has always been good for Ravage Run, and Ruthless Charms were the best for him in the previous season, so that is the #1 recommended. However, other ones can work on him. Like, he has a lot of good charm sets, like Ruthless, I believe he has, this is Ruthless, but he has like Acute, I think, Mystic, and all of them kind of were good for him even in the previous season. Shakira, definitely Mystic to increase attack buff with Lupine Zora. This is really important, and you should get it. He almost definitely is going to be a top team. Mikola Arcane Charms, that gives her attack and gives her skill power to boost her attack buff for your team, so definitely try to get those Arcane Charms. And then Smokey Sorcery Recovering Charms to give that skill power. Smokey almost definitely is going to be in one of the top teams, but you probably already have his charms. Either Sorcery or Recovering. Both are good. Both are basically equivalent to each other. You don't need to get Sorcery just because Sorcery is written here. And then you have Mystic Charms on Kruger. He usually is in top team because he has that physical defense debuff and also decent damage output, and Mystic are the best for him for his damage. And then Natsu and Othalia. Now, if you have these heroes built like really like Supreme Plus, or maybe Mythic Plus or above, then you should prioritize their charms. They were in the best teams of Ravage Realm in the previous season, so I could definitely see them being good this season as well. And Sorcery for Natsu and Overlord for Delia, these are the best ones. Okay. Now we move on to Wilders. So Wilders is really tough, one of the most stacked factions, and it also has the Twins and Rainier. Twins and Rainier both in the same faction, which is crazy, which you're definitely going to be using both of them in a top team, so that's already taking out 2 slots, only 6 slots remaining for other heroes on your team, and so that's kind of the difficulty. Even though a lot of heroes are good, I don't know which ones are actually going to be the key ones to be shooting for, and the priority that they've listed here, I don't know if I can necessarily agree with it. Honestly, like, maybe Indris is going to be really good for this Ravage Run, but there are a lot of good heroes here, and I personally would not be majorly prioritizing Indris, even though I do have Indris built. Like, I think there are other heroes which might be a bigger priority, but let's just go through it. So Parissa, the Swift Charms are always best for Parissa. She wasn't best in a team in the previous season, in fact, hardly used it at all. But in Thalassa, she was really good because of AoE damage. She has a bit of AoE damage, but this boss is a single target dragon boss. Honestly, I don't think I would be focusing priority on to Parissa, but either way, Swift Charms are the best for her. Indris, Ruthless Charms are the best for him, but I mean, Indris definitely is probably going to be good, but I don't know if he's going to be in the #1 top team, because like I said, there are a lot of good heroes, and but if you have Indris built, then maybe getting his Ruthless Charms wouldn't be a bad idea. It could be pretty smart. Diurnal, Sorcery Charms. So in previous seasons, so obviously you do not want to get Diurnal Charms unless you have him Supreme Plus, and in previous seasons, even though Diurnal, even if I had a Paragon for Diurnal, still he was not in a top team. Basically, the top teams were using different damage deals rather than Diurnal, so I honestly am not very convinced about Diurnal, but Sorcery Charms are the best for him. Brian, so in the previous season, Ruthless Charms were the best for Brian. Brian has decent damage output. Now he has a Supreme Plus skill upgrade. I could definitely see Brian maybe being useful in this Ravage Run, and Ruthless are the best for him. But again, I don't think I would make him my #1 priority. Like, the heroes down here, like Lily May and Pheromore, and even Lenya, I'm much more likely in thinking like these are going to be the 3 big heroes you want to be getting the charms for. Anyway, we have Granny here. Granny. So Granny was good in the previous season, but it was because of her charm bonus, quality bonus. I don't know what her quality bonus is this season. Like basically if it's defense shred or something can be useful. Her supreme plus skill upgrade, it basically doesn't do anything because it's an attack debuff. Attack debuff is useless. It doesn't increase your damage output. So like I don't want Granny on my team unless she has a good mythic quality bonus, and I can't even remember what she has. So honestly, I would not prioritize Granny, really. Okay, now these 3 big ones. Pheromore, Lilymay, and of course Valara. Yeah, these 4 actually. Pheromore, Lilymay, Lenya, and Valara. I will find it very hard to believe if even one of these 4 is not used in the top team. So Pheromore, Mystic, or Arcane. Arcane is also a really good charm set. I remember Mystic was good in the previous season. It gives him haste. However, if you're using him with the twins, they already give a massive haste buff, and then haste has diminishing returns. So it depends. If Pheromore's using team number 2, which is a no twins team, I can definitely see Mystic being good. But if he is used in a twins team, Arcane would definitely be the winner, in my opinion. So Mystic or Arcane, yeah, you can just complete the other set you don't have right now. Lilymay sorcery charms are always the best for it. Increases their true damage output. So I would definitely say, yeah, get your Lilymay sorcery charms. That will be important. Almost definitely she's going to be a good damage dealer for this Ravaged Realm. Then you have Lenya. Lenya Butcher Charms are the best, and Lenya is a massive damage dealer for Ravaged Realm. I definitely think you should get Lenya Butcher Charms if you have Lenya built. And then Valara. This is the interesting thing about Valara. In the Primal Lord, sorcery charms kind of were the best for Valara. Even in Dream Realm, sorcery charms sometimes are better than even like Mystic and Blast. Now, I don't know about Valara. Honestly, she has 3 really good charm sets, and all for different circumstances, they could all be considered best. Sorcery, Blast, or Mystic. So I have all 3 sets unlocked. Honestly, I can't even name one specific set. Probably anything would work decently, but I would say at least get one of either Sorcery or Mystic, and then also get Blast, because we don't know which one is going to be better. And then we have Haywin. Usually Haywin is used if you need healing, if you need survival on your team, and then you have like, you know, these recovering charms or healing charms onto the Haywin, because that's going to be really important to keep your team alive. Then you have the twin sorcery charms, definitely, although who knows, eagle charms sometimes have their usage, but hopefully and most likely sorcery charms are going to be the best charms for the twins. Floorball, in the previous season Floorball was not used. This season I don't know. I find, actually wait, Floorball was used in the previous season, I think, with Pheromore. I think she was actually used. So yeah, Floorball, Gale Charms, if you have Floorball built, I do think it would be a pretty important priority. And like, I don't know, can her minions keep attacking the boss even if she gets crowd controlled? Like, will her minions also get crowd control? I'm not sure about that. And then you have Pang. Pang, most likely Butcher Charms will be the best for him. It will increase his damage output. And also Pang has that attack buff for your entire team. He gives your team unaffected when the shield, when basically heroes have over 850 energy, and unaffected is going to be really strong for this Dream Realm boss. So I am very much predicting that Pang probably is going to be good for this Ravaged Realm, most likely, because he has unaffected for your team, he has the attack buff, he also has high damage output of his own. So like, really, if I'm talking about heroes, I would prioritize Pang, Twins, Valara, Lenya, Lilymay, Pheromore, and Rainier, and maybe some of these other heroes, but those would be the big ones I would be focusing on. Okay, so the final one is the Graveborn Immortal squad. Of course, Shumira Butcher Charms, Viperon Balance Charms. Viperon Balance Charms were the best for him in the previous Ravaged Realm, and Viperon definitely could be good in this Ravaged Realm as well. Taylene, now Taylene, this was the interesting thing. Taylene was in the best team in the previous season, however, a no Taylene team version also came really close. So like, if you don't have Taylene, you're not going to lose out that much in Ravaged Realm, most likely. But if you're trying to min-max Taylene specifically, Blast Charms are the best for her, and she was in the overall top team of Ravaged Realm in the previous season. However, because this Ravaged Realm boss we have has crowd control, is going to keep interrupting Taylene. So I really think this is not a well-suited boss for Taylene. I probably would not really be prioritizing Taylene's charms. So Bonnie sorcery charms were the best for in the previous season. Balance charms sometimes are also a consideration. However, I would probably stick with sorcery charms. Cecia Gale Charms. Cecia was in the best team in the previous Ravaged Realm. If you have her built, get her Gale Charms. Damon definitely probably will be used. He has high damage output and the buffing, so Mystic Charms onto Damon. Insight Ludovic. Ludovic probably will be used. He is a hard hitting, like he deals decent damage. He also heals your team, and you will need a healer in Ravaged Realm, otherwise your team is just gonna die. So almost definitely Ludovic will be used. Nero. So Nero has always been used in previous seasons because of his charm quality bonus. He has a charm quality bonus to buff up the ally behind him. Also though, Nero has higher damage now that he has a Supreme Plus skill upgrade. But overall, I think I would make Nero more of the supportive role, and that's kind of like these Eagle Charms make him more of a supportive role. Increases his basically like his revival health for the ally who needs to be revived. So I don't know about Eagle Charms on Nero. Like for PvP, Reaper Charms are considered the best because he is now a damage dealer in PvP. But for Ravage Realm, he's probably not going to be a high damage contributor because it's still like a single target boss. He does better when they're multiple targets because he can hit all of them at the same time. But yeah, I could definitely see Eagle Charms onto Nero, or really any charm set. Honestly, you can just complete any charm set, or even just a Mythic quality bonus. Velka was good in the previous season, and I hear they have sorcery charms, but I think arcane charms were the best for in the previous season, if I remember correctly. But basically, there are some different options: arcane, sorcery, or even I think balance she also has access to. So any one of those charms, and then Hodgkin was in the best team in the previous season. So if you have Hodgkin built, get his arcane charms. But if you don't have Hodgkin built, forget about it. It's fine. There are other heroes now which have come to fill the void. I'm sure you're gonna have good teams without these heroes. But anyway, guys, that's basically like a kind of overview and my kind of priority that I'm gonna be doing over the next week in terms of my specific crafting. But do not craft these charms yet until we have the full week of testing on VN server and even a couple of days of testing on global server. Do not begin using your crafting, using your Branko essence for crafting, other than those surefire heroes like Overloaded Elsa, Butcher Shimira. But even then, it's probably better to wait and see because we don't know what the top team lineups are going to be. And then you can just save your resources and only craft those specific charms, the best in slot charms for those heroes. But this is basically an idea for like your sweeping, because in the upcoming days, you're going to have to sweep. You've completed probably all of your Dream Realm hero charms, and so this is important for that. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Again, big credit to Yapala for coming up with this kind of priority tier list. I think overall it is good, but like I said, I do disagree kind of with some of these top, like, most high priority placements, like this Parissa, Indris, Mariel, and Cassidy. I don't know. Maybe they've really kind of predicted what's going to happen for the meta of this boss, but like, personally, I think that these are kind of risky to be focusing first. I would be focusing some of the other heroes like we mentioned, because almost definitely those heroes are going to be used, so it's kind of like a lower risk. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video. If you have any other tips, feel free to share them in the comment section down below. If you guys are not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please smash that subscribe button. Also, feel free to join my AFK Journey Discord server. There's a link to that in the description of this video. And finally, if you think about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store. There is a link to that in the description of this video and a pinned comment. This is the best way you can support me at no extra cost to you. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.